When its path was reverse-engineered, astronomers were shocked. The object appeared to have made micro-corrections mid-flight. These weren't the clumsy, random shoves of outgassing. They were tiny, angular shifts in its vector, applied with surgical precision. The kind of adjustments that require energy, intent, and awareness. This object isn't just moving through our solar system. It's navigating it. And when those paths were cross-referenced with historic observations, some researchers believe this object, or something like it, may have passed near Earth before, hidden in ancient observations, mistaken for stars or eclipses. As if this wasn't its first visit. As if it knows the way. The gravitational ghost, but the navigation models still had a flaw. Something was off. The object's mass, calculated from its 46 kilometers size, didn't match its gravitational influence. Multiple observatories reported the same bizarre anomaly. A delay between the light emitted from the comet and the gravitational signature it should produce. The light from 3I, ATLAS arrived on schedule, but its gravitational influence, its pull on other objects, was lagging. The math was broken. That is, until one team refined the data and proposed a terrifying solution. The data only made sense if there wasn't one object, but two. It revealed the truth. There is a second, invisible mass trailing exactly 312,000 kilometers behind 3I, Atlas. This gravitational ghost cannot be seen. Not in visible light, not in infrared, not in ultraviolet or radio. But its pull is real. It distorts the paths of nearby solar particles. It causes measurable gravitational lensing of background stars. Its mass is comparable to a small asteroid, but it is perfectly silent. No emissions, no radiation, no data. Just presence. This is the real object. The red, 46-kilometer sphere, the cold shell venting CO2, it's all a decoy. A distraction. An elaborate piece of cosmic theater. A mask hiding the true face. Everything we've seen so far, every anomaly we've studied is just a curtain. What's really moving toward us is silent, invisible, and hidden just behind it. The return. If an object defies everything we know, shouldn't it be headline news? When Oumuamua was discovered, the world exploded with curiosity. But with 3I, Atlas, there is near total silence from major space agencies. NASA and the ESA buried the data on blog posts, as if it were routine. This feels controlled. This feels like a coordinated effort to manage a truth too terrifying to release. After this data was shared, a rogue group of comparative mythologists and astrophysicists began publishing an idea that would have been laughable until now. They found ancient records scattered across multiple civilizations, Sumerians, Mayans, the Indus Valley, all referring to a star that returns. They describe a red eye in the sky that carries a mirror or a shadow and passes by silently, without a tail. The ancients even described rituals of stillness coinciding with its arrival, as if anticipating a signal. These records, previously dismissed as myth, are now being re-evaluated. Because if 3I, Atlas is not a comet, but a sensor, a watcher, or a harbinger, then perhaps those who came before us already knew what it meant. This object, or whatever intelligence hides behind its veil, has woven itself into our myths, our physics, and now our perception of reality. Its timing, its structure, its silence, they are not coincidental. They are deliberate, measured, and ancient. It did not arrive. It returned. The reason it breaks our models is because it was never meant to obey them. It is a test, not of our technology, but of our perception. We are the anomaly it came to observe. So the next time you stare into the stars and see something watching back, don't look away. You might not be looking at a comet. You might be looking into the mirror of our own origin, or our end. They thought it was just another rock from deep space. A wandering interstellar object, harmless, quiet, drifting toward the sun. After Oumuamua and Borisov, astronomers thought they knew what to expect. But then the James Webb Space Telescope captured something no one was prepared for. A coma glowing deep red, symmetrical beyond any natural explanation. No water, no tail, no familiar signs of a comet, only carbon dioxide being released with mechanical precision. And now scientists are whispering something they never thought they'd say aloud. What if this isn't a comet at all? The last time something like this happened, it was Oumuamua, and that object's strange acceleration already sent shock waves through the world of astronomy. But 3I, Atlas. This one doesn't just challenge what we know. It rewrites the rules. And with every passing day, it gets closer. The impossible coma from the very beginning, 3I, ATLAS stood apart. Instead of a chaotic, uneven coma of water vapor and dust, the Webb telescope detected an enormous, perfect sphere of gas. It was expanding evenly in all directions, already nearly the size of the Earth-Moon distance. The color wasn't the pale, icy blue-green of a typical comet, it glowed with an ominous deep crimson hue. Most alarmingly, it wasn't water forming this halo. It was carbon dioxide, and only carbon dioxide. At this distance from the Sun, water ice, the primary component of all known comets, should be the dominant volatile. It should be boiling off violently, creating spectacular, chaotic jets that form a tail. But 3I, ATLAS didn't follow that rulebook. It seemed to operate under entirely different physics. There were no jets, no wild bursts, no sign of chaos at all. A natural comet is a dirty, tumbling snowball, fracturing and venting unpredictably. This was clean, symmetrical, like a precision instrument. It was just a slow, steady release of CO2, as if something had turned on a switch and was now venting with quiet, eerie control. Spectral data confirmed that water is present beneath its surface. It's there, dormant, but it's not emerging. What if the absence of water isn't a coincidence? What if it's intentional? What if the CO2 is a coolant, or a byproduct of a process we can't understand? The hollow core. Astronomers turned their attention to the nucleus, the solid core at the heart of the coma, and what they found sent shivers down their spines. Early estimates from Hubble suggested the nucleus was tiny, barely 300 to 500 meters across. But when Webb and the Spherex telescope began scanning in near-infrared wavelengths, the data was contradictory. The object appeared to be over 46 kilometers wide, making it larger than 90% of all comets ever observed. That kind of mass should have been obvious from the start, its gravity distorting the light of background stars. How could an object so large remain hidden for so long? But the real mystery, the one that broke the models, came from Webb's thermal imaging. When pointed directly at the nucleus, scientists expected to find a cold, solid core. Instead, they found a flat line. Not low, not variable, but perfectly zero. This is impossible. Every object in space, even the coldest rocks in the Oort cloud, emits some faint thermal radiation. It's a fundamental law of physics. But 3I, ATLAS seemed to absorb and reflect nothing. It was a thermal black hole, a void where a temperature should be. The only logical conclusion was horrifying. The object's core wasn't made of any known material. It was a void. We are not seeing a solid object. We are seeing a shell, a decoy, a mask for something hidden behind frequencies we don't yet understand. The intentional path 3I, ATLAS doesn't just look strange. It moves in ways that defy celestial mechanics. Its trajectory is not just interstellar, it's impossibly precise. Unlike traditional comets that are flung into our system by gravitational disturbances, 3I, ATLAS seems to be following a calculated route, one that brushes just close enough to planets and solar radiation to collect data, but never so close as to be destabilized.